This is Carolyn, just hopping on to say that I had to split the hour-and-a-half long Make Your Picture Book Party video replay into 2 parts. Here is part 2 of 2. Join us for a crowdsourced character, a story game, and some Q&A. See you there.
We're going to do a little bit of brainstorming right now. Okay, and we kind of did this before, but I cannot wait to see what you guys do this time. We have another group doodle. This one, okay, bye Ken, you have to leave, but it's good to see you for a second. Yeah, okay, so we're doing another group doodle, and this one is a character doodle. And so what I want you to do is, if you have found your annotate pencil, I want you to add features to these shapes and make a character. Or I have some speech balloons in there. You could make a speech. And if you don't want to draw, or if you can't find your annotate pencil, write down something in the chat and the rest of us will draw it. So let's see, Hillary, you want to know how to find that annotate pencil? I have a tablet. I don't know exactly. Maybe there's 3 dots and you tap on them and it might say more options or view options. And then it might say annotate somewhere. You guys, it's so funny to see this happening so fast because a bunch of people are working on it on the same time. Oh, Christina's saying, go to the top of screen and find view options and annotate. It's great. This is like an animation. All right. Melissa Allman Roberts, did you have a question? Because your hand is up. Okay. All right. That's fine. You guys, awesome. Okay. So it looks like we have some smiley square heads, a caterpillar with heart. A caterpillar with heart. I actually like the sound of that. Do caterpillars have hearts? Who among us is an entomologist? There's a cat. I thought it was a speech bubble, but it turns out that it was a cat. I think that's great. Okay, there's a chick with a crown. Oh, that worm, I'm a little worried for it. Awesome, you guys. I thought I was going to draw, but I'm just mesmerized, so I'm just going to watch you. So great. You took the speech balloons and you made them into characters too. Draw a gate to a secret garden. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I might draw a gate to the secret garden. I don't know if I can do it justice in this time and in this space right now. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Sorry, guys. I covered it up. I don't think I have room for the gate to the secret garden. Maybe I'll put it over here. Let's see. Judith Graves just drew a really great gate for a secret garden, I believe. I don't know if you're still here, Judith. Okay, so it's a metal gate like the secret garden. That was one of the first lines that I was thinking about using for name that title, but I didn't quite make it. Okay. Wow. Well, so I'm going to give us about, whoops. I'm going to give us a couple more minutes. Sorry, I'm messing this up for everybody. Whoops. And then we will go to the next thing. So writers, don't be too shy to write things still, like your ideas are all great. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot because I'm thinking that we're running out of space on our paper. And then we're going to move on to the next thing, where you're going to be working on your own books. Thanks, you guys. It's fantastic. Okay, so my thought was that we were going to come up with some kind of character here. So the next thing is, so I'm gonna clear this. And we're gonna go down to the next thing. So the next thing, you guys, that was beautiful. And I did take a screenshot, so I will send that to us later. All right, so the next thing is we are going to do a little writing exercise or drawing exercise, depending on what your preferred medium is. And in order to do that, so you'll have your paper out and we're going to make 3 lists. First, we're gonna brainstorm the lists. This is our last exercise. And then we'll have a little more talk and we'll have some Q&A. But in this exercise, this is called Character Plus. And so in this exercise, we're gonna brainstorm some characters. And we're gonna brainstorm some props, I think. And the props are items that a character might interact with. And the characters could be people or animal or vegetable or mineral. I don't care. Use your imagination. And the props could be big or little. And so, you know, grandma's teapot, or, you know, the space station, or whatever you like. And then the last thing is emotions. So the emotions are happy, sad, angry. So write those down in the chat, and then I'll scribble them up here, and then we're going to use that to write a little prompt. Okay. So is the prop someone's birthday party? Okay, it could be a prop or a setting. That's fine. Let's say B-Day party. So you're writing stuff in the chat. Hippo. Character. Spaghetti. Unicorn. Sweater. Coffee. All right. Scissors. Crow. If I've forgotten anything really unforgettable, Christina, don't let me do that.
You're doing great. You're never going to get them all. So get the ones that pop out to you.
Oh, I put scissors under emotions. What does that mean? Prop, garbage. Ukulele. Ants. Orange button. Head in clouds. Flower. Rake. Okay, victorious. I need some more emotions, guys. Saucy. I like it. Hi, Polly. Good to see you. Rage from Sharon. Jealous from Tiffany. Giantess. Nice character. I can't wait to draw a giantess. Joy. Sorry?
Piano as a character.
Yeah, I thought I wrote that down, but maybe I put it under emotions. Grandiosity. Okay. Okay, let's get 3 more characters. If I missed yours, I'm sorry, but let's get a couple more. Brave and impulsive, that's good too. Giraffe. Fox. Curly girl. Okay, cool. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes, and you are going to write a 1-paragraph character study for a picture book. And this character could be a person or an animal. It can be somebody or something from the list. And the character needs to interact with one of the props. And the character needs to feel one or more of the emotions. And so I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and then we are going to see what we wrote. Oh, and by the way, if you're an illustrator, feel free, and even if you're a writer, I don't care, feel free to do a drawing of this character and do call outs if that is helpful to you, because this is a rough draft. And so, you know, if it's helpful to think in words and pictures, that's totally fine. So let's get going. I'll put the timer on. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute to wrap it up, and then we can share if you're ready. All right, we're going to share shortly. Let's see. I used smelly marker and I regret it. This is the giantess. She is in a rage because she wants to play the piano. I did not get to draw the piano yet, but her fingers are too big. Somehow I'm going to have to solve this problem in this story, and I haven't figured out how yet, but when I do, the giantess will have her head in the clouds, literally. So that's my plan there for the giantess. And I don't have a name for her yet. I need to think of that too. Okay, does anybody else want to share? And if you do, you can actually put your hand up and I'll get Christina to call your name because I can't see everybody. Or you can share in the chat if you want to. I'll read Yaz. You said, Hippo's B-Day is planned for next Sunday. As excited as she is, she's also nervous about many things, how the party looks like, who will be attending, and what should she wear. That sounds excellent. I can't wait to see that. Janet, you say, enough bullying, shouted the curly-haired girl. She took her ukulele without a word, smashed it into the giantess's hands, saucily pranced over to the side of the crying hippo, who felt a happy rage at his vindication. That's really excellent. Thank you, Janet. Let's see. Mountains high and valley deep, Mabel Moose couldn't sleep, excited as anyone might be, for tomorrow she would be 3. Oh, you did poetry in 5 minutes. That's fantastic. Good for you. Okay, Kayleen Blackmore. The Forgotten Song. An old forgotten piano is rediscovered in a famous historic house renovation, but try as they might, no one can get this saucy piano to play any music. All efforts are met with a cacophonous discord until a little boy walks in. He notices that the piano just needs to be loved without anybody expecting something out of it. He knits it a sweater to keep it warm. He paints its legs pretty colors, and he naps on the bench to keep it company. When the restoration company decided it's time to get rid of the useless piano, the boy coaxes a beautiful melody out of it, playing it so that the piano can share its voice. You're hired. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Kayleen, for sharing that.
You have a hand, Carolyn. Alexandra has her hand up.
Okay. Yeah, Alexandra, why don't you read yours?
Okay. Jerome was an anxious sort of giraffe. He knew that he was good at some things, like reaching the high succulent leaves of the acacia tree and spotting predators at a great distance. But he also knew he wasn't very good at other things that seemed to be easy for the other animals. Betsy the baboon, for example, had once found a ukulele, and she made beautiful music with it, plucking the strings and strumming. Tilly the toucan often sang along, and they made beautiful music together. Jerome dreamed of being able to join in with them, but he knew that his hooves were not made for plucking, and his throat couldn't seem to make the right sounds.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Alexandra. That's really great. Okay, Annalie, is that how you say your name? Do you want to unmute and share with us? Oh, yay. Hi.
Sure. Okay.
Nice to meet
Can you
you.
see? Hi.
Yes.
I don't know
Let's
if you can
pin
see
you.
it.
Let's see.
Can you see it?
Spotlight for everyone. That will make you the center of attention, won't it? No, that didn't seem to work. Okay. Well, I
I don't know
see
if it shows. Can you see it?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
delightful.
It's just the word joy. It made me think of the song Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog,
Awesome.
because it goes on to,
Joy to the world.
yeah.
And all the boys and girls.
So it's just quick.
That's awesome. Thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing.
No
All
worries.
right. All right. Dale, is that you? Do you want to share what you have got going?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Curly Girl's birthday party, but Curly Girl had her head in the clouds. She wasn't paying attention to anything that was going on around her. She was thinking about the star she found the other day. the star that she didn't tell anyone about, the one that probably fell from the sky just for her.
Awesome. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Dale.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Arlie, do you want to share yours?
I was thinking about an ant who spends his time gathering cool things, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's on an iPad.
The light is sort of reflecting.
Well, it's about an ant who spends his time, he should be gathering food, but instead he gathers cool human things. You can kind of see it.
Excellent.
Anyways, sorry. So he found a button and he's showing his friend, and his friend's confused.
Oh, cool. It sounds good though. I like that picture. So that's great. Thank you for sharing, Arlie. Okay, Karen Gummo.
Just a little cookie thing. Corey, the corvid crow, is so envious that people are covering their beaks in this cold weather, and finds some on the street and tries them on and gets into some kind of corvid cora convolutions, and it's very difficult.
Karen Gummo, you are a lover of alliteration, you storyteller, you. That's awesome. Thank you. COVID corvid. That's smart. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're
Let me see.
welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so we have some more messages here, and I'm going to read through some of them. We'll see how our time goes. And I cannot tell, has anyone else got their hand up? Okay, so we're going to read through the stories in the chat. So Barb Roth, Pearl the hippo wandered aimlessly through the trees. She was bored. There was never anything to do here, and nothing exciting ever happened. A strange sound she had never heard before began. Intrigued, she tiptoed toward it, carefully parting the tree leaves. She spied an anteater with an odd wooden thing pressed to its shoulder. The musical melody drifted towards Pearl's ear.
Hello.
I think that there's going to be some kind of musical interlude and some musical learning here. So that sounds great, and also fun to draw. Okay, let's see. Debbie, you say annual travel becoming a challenge. Granddaughters Kiku and Hana help to relocate bones of their ancestors from a country tomb to a city tomb. Lovingly caring for the tomb is a sacred ritual. Come follow their cultural and spiritual journey as they travel with the remains through the crematorium to the new burial site. Family celebrations help solidify their sense of belonging to something greater than themselves. Well, that sounds like it would be a striking story. So good for you. Thank you for sharing, Debbie. All right. So I wish that we had time to make drawings of all this stuff, but I don't think that we're going to. Oh, I'm just going to read a couple more. Zoe, this is from Melissa. Zoe the winged dog was a very curious dog. She always wore her blue sweater first because it keeps her warm, but also because it hides her beautiful wings. Oh, I can't wait to turn the page and see what those look like. So I'm sure there's going to be a big reveal. That's excellent. Brenda, a glacier lily spread her buttery yellow petals to catch the rising sun and warm herself. Her leaves were eager to shed the icy skin of dew off their surfaces. Just as her stamens were plump with warmth, a careless banana peel flopped over its glory, and she felt herself begin to shrivel into the darkness. A tiny dark spark of rage flared into life within her. Oh, I'm heartbroken. The raging glacier lily, Brenda. I can't wait to draw it. It's so good. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so Christy, boo-hoo, cried the giantess. Boo-hoo, there's no one at my birthday party. She had been looking forward to this day for weeks. Now the table was set with spaghetti. She was wearing her most garish birthday sweater, and a cake was waiting in the kitchen, but no one was there. I'm here. The giantess was so engulfed in her glumness, she didn't hear these words at all. So our illustrator, being the helpful illustrator she is, wrote the words a little bigger. I'm here. That's excellent, Christy. It's always good to deploy the illustrators to help out. What's that? Sniffed the giantess, wiping her nose. Fat blobs of tears dripped onto the page and obliterated the rather nicely penned words. But just as she was about to return to her sobs, the helpful illustrator wrote it even a little bigger. I'm here. The story will continue with the giantess searching for her guests under the piano, in the ukulele, etc., and finally finds Alice the ant, who floats up to eye level by holding onto a birthday balloon. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, Christy. That's really great. And thank you also for giving the illustrator a little job, because we like to work hard in our books too. So that's great. Okay, so Jenna, the trouble with being big was that everything else was too small, or everything else was small, way too small for the giantess's large hands, long arms, and big feet. Even the sky was too small. The clouds always got in her way, and she brushed them away from her head like flies. She tried to look at the bright side of things and couldn't help but think her world of small things was a world of cute things. From her tiny teddy bear, toothbrush, and guitar, which she strummed against her chest like a ukulele. That is great. It's really good. You guys, there's so much fun stuff to draw and read here. So thank you so much. Okay, so Tiffany, do you still have your hand up? Where are you? Do you still want to read? Did we get you?
Yes. Hi.
Okay. All right.
There's just one for me, right? I did two quick little ones. I did this flower pot with a balloon.
A flower pot with a balloon?
Yes, and it says Daisy's spirit deflated like her balloon when her birthday party was canceled last minute. And I did this little ants on cake.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's good. I like it.
Little flag, and this is the ants conquered their slice of birthday cake.
Awesome. That's great. Like, you know, there's nothing like a bunch of ants on a birthday cake to draw a strong reaction. That's great. Thank you. All right. So Lorraine, okay, I think this is going to be our last one for right now. So Lorraine, Orlando woke up before anyone else. It was the day before his 5th birthday. He wiggled out of bed and looked out the window to Back Cove. Excellent. I can see that there's going to be.
It was a little bit short. It's a picture book. I'll just show you quickly that I've written, but I have to reformat it for, can you see it there?
Yeah, looking good. You've been working on the.
I may check in with you, take one of your courses. I have to reformat it to be the standard size. Anyway, standard amount of pages. Anyway, okay.
It seems like there's, you know, my interest is piqued. So, you know, it looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You guys, thank you so much for sharing your work this way. And the thing that always surprises me and makes me happy is what kind of fun ideas you can come up with in 5 minutes on the spot. I mean, it's really kind of remarkable. And so I think that if we give ourselves the chance to do our creative thing, we can work miracles. It's really quite something. And that is the magic of trying to do creative work. So thank you for sharing that with me. Okay, so let's see. We're just gonna see what the last slide is. I think, oh yeah, I just wanted to give a plug for we're gonna wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so. And I just wanted to give a plug for my class. Like, so today's picture book party is something that I would like to do for free every once in a while. Maybe I'm gonna make it, you know, an every year thing, because I just think it's nice to kick off our January with sort of a community touching base, so that we can connect with each other and inspire each other and play some games and think about how we want to make books and stories in the future. And in 2 weeks, there is a class that I'm teaching. It's Picture Books 101. It's an 8-module class. And we're going to have a couple of Zoom meetups, and we have a community full of really accomplished writers and illustrators who will comment on your work and give you ideas and brainstorm with you. And it has been a really fun way to spend my winter, the last 2 winters, working on these classes with Picture Books 101. So anyway, I just wanted to give a little plug for that. The classes will be launched for 8 weeks, or they'll be dropped for 8 weeks, but you finish at your own pace in that class. So that's Picture Books 101. All right, so I just want to have a little bit of Q&A for a minute or two, in case you guys have questions about writing and illustrating picture books, and or if you have questions about, I don't know, brainstorming about how to get your creative work together or whatever. But I'll start by asking myself a question, which is a question that people often ask me. Maybe I'm just gonna actually unshare now. So we're gonna unshare because I don't need to have this on in order to answer a question. So people often contact me and say, I have written a story, how do I find an illustrator? Or how do I figure out how to make the illustrations for my story? I've never done this before. So here's what you need to know. If you are dreaming of submitting your story for publication and you've written a story, the publisher will choose the illustrator. You do not have to find the illustrator. If you are thinking of self-publishing, then you will have to find the illustrator and commission that person to make pictures, or make pictures on your own. You know, that you have both options. So that's one question. Let's see. Oh, Janet, you have a question. Does there always have to be a problem in a picture book? What do 4-year-olds want? A fun story or a problem to solve? You guys, what do 4-year-olds want? 4-year-olds, they're such a mystery. What do they want? Anyway, does there always have to be a problem in a picture book? Okay, so Janet, you are speaking of the tradition of stories with a character and a problem and a conflict and a resolution, which is a classic tradition that dates back at least to the Greeks, right? And I have noticed that there are a number of stories that do not have problems. Sometimes you can make a story that is a list, or sometimes you can make a story that is a meditation, or sometimes that you can have kind of a quiet story where there isn't very much conflict, but it's maybe an investigation into something. So there are different ways of doing a story. The trick is, if you want to approach publishers, the trick is convincing the publisher that your way is the right way there. So does there have to be a problem always? No, but it's one way. Okay, so let's see. Jess, you want to know, does anyone have recommendations for communities, online forums that would be inspiring and helpful for very amateur writers? Well, our community in Picture Books 101 is awesome, but it costs money. So you might be looking for a free one. The SCBWI, not free, still not free, but a little bit cheaper, is the Society of Children's Books, Writers and Illustrators, scbwi.org. And they have lots of good stuff in their community too. Jess, where do you live? Because there's a SCBWI is having a critique group that's starting up in Calgary. Oh yeah, so email me and ask me about this, because Nicolette Little is starting up a critique group in Calgary with the SCBWI. All right, so let's see. Okay. What are your thoughts on rhyming narratives? I've been told that they may be a hard sell because they don't translate, but I love writing them. Oh yeah, we had a big discussion about this last year, because I told everybody in Picture Books 101 that editors are allergic to rhyming verse, and then everybody wanted to write in rhyming verse. And what I realized was that served me right. And if you feel the compulsion to write in verse, you should write in verse, because you should make a story that suits you. And I see books in poetry that come out all the time, every day. And so what that means to me is that there are still places, there are still publishing houses that publish poetry. So if you feel propelled to write verse, please write in verse. Do the thing that makes you happy. Make the kind of art that you want to make. All right. So bye, Sharon. Arlie, my question is, once you're ready to go and excited about illustrating a story, what is something people knew ahead of time to save headaches? Formatting, helpful process, tips, etc. Well, you know, it's good if you can make a storyboard. A storyboard is a little map of how your book is going to look. And whether you're a writer or an illustrator, the storyboard breaks down your book into the 32 pages and helps you to figure out your pacing for those 500 words, because you have to stretch them out over the 32 pages. And that is not super easy. And actually, I have a picture of a storyboard here, and I'm going to share my screen and show it to you. And that will be the handout that I emailed to you afterwards. So here is a storyboard. Let's see. There we go. All right. So a storyboard, like I said, is a little map of how your book is going to look. And you do not have to draw illustrations in your storyboard if you are not an illustrator. But if you can break the story down into units of the 32 pages, then you can kind of see how your text works over that span of 32 pages. And it's important because you use the page turn to kind of introduce a pause into your narrative. And anyway, that's the best tool, I think, for making a picture book. So let's see. And I need to find the chat I've lost here. I've lost the chat here. Okay. Oh yeah, Bev, you are suggesting linear stories or a circle story is another way, aside from a conflict story. Also add-on stories, that's a good one. Okay, Lisa, do you or anyone know of publishers who'd be interested in my children's songs being published into picture books with an accompanying CD download? I do not, but if you join the SCBWI, the Society of Children's Book Writers or Illustrators, they have a book that is called The Book, and it's a list of publishers who, you know, who specify different things that they look at. All right, what are the options if you want to write and illustrate a book? Well, the options are you can write and illustrate the book. So let's see. I think that you need to clarify a little bit, Deborah. So, but it takes a while to learn to write. It took me a while to learn to be an illustrator. And so, you know, you have to put some effort into your craft before your portfolio is up to where a publisher would hire you or commission you to illustrate somebody else's story. And if you want to write and illustrate a book, that is possible. If you want to submit it for publication, your portfolio is going to need to be sort of professional level if you want to interest a publisher in printing the book. How do you qualify an editor to prepare my work for submission? So are you saying that you want to hire an editor? Sandra, you'll have to clarify. Okay. Oh, Authors Publish is a great resource for publishers who look for certain genres. It's Canadian and sends emails once a week with publishers looking for writing. Cool. Oh, how do you see if an editor's qualified? I don't really know the answer to that. Probably if you join one of the community groups and get a referral from somebody else, that might be helpful. Okay, I think we're going to wrap things up. People have to go now. I am so grateful that you guys joined us today. So thank you. It is really good to see you. And if you gave me your email address, I'll send a follow-up email with a video replay and a handout. And I think that it's possible that I might throw another party sometime, maybe at the beginning of summer or another January. So I hope that we stay in touch and we can get together again. Thank you so much for sharing your work with me, and good to see you today. And so I will say farewell. Goodbye.